Brady is legitimately on fire entering the playoffs. I love that quote. You know, that makes me happy. Shannon, how shocked would you be if the Bucs made it to the Super Bowl?
Shocked? I don't know if shocked would be the term that I would use, but I'd be very surprised, Skip. We've seen the Bucs beat up on bad teams and look very good in doing it, and we've seen them struggle against very good teams. And one of the teams that they struggled against was New Orleans Saints, which will be one of the teams they'll have to go through in order to beat. And we see them play the Packers, in which they dismantle the Packers. And so he's catching a real good break that he's facing a team that offensively I don't think poses them the challenge that they're going to see when they face Green Bay and when they face the New Orleans Saints. So I think they get an opportunity to get their feet wet early on in the postseason. But Skip, Brady, to get to the Super Bowl, he's going to have to win 3 road playoff games. Brady has only played 4 road playoff games in his entire playoff career. And he would have to play 3. He's 4-4, Skip, record on the road. So it's going to be very, very this year. And if you look at
where 2 of those losses were in your old stadium.
Yes. So Scott, I think the thing is that for me, can Brady, who on the road, we know what he represents at home. I just don't know if he can withstand, especially New Orleans. I think New Orleans posed a bigger risk than the Packers because I trust the Saints defense more than I trust the Packers. I might trust Aaron Rodgers in their offense, but if you can't get Brady on the ground, if you can't get around his feet, if you can't make him uncomfortable, you're going to catch the Dickens beating him. And I think New Orleans can do that because they've shown the one that he's had the most trouble. He's lost 5 games this year, but the most trouble he's had is against the Saints. So, Skip, shocked is not the term I'm going to use.
Okay.
I'm going to use 2 variants. I'll be very, very surprised if they won the Super Bowl.
It would kill you if they won the Super Bowl. It would destroy your psyche on the show if they won the Super Bowl.
Well, if Alabama won the national championship, LeBron, I mean, I can't be greedy, Skip. I can't win the NBA title back-to-back years, Alabama win the national championship, and get my homeboy to win the Super Bowl. Is that possible? I mean, sweepstakes wouldn't be all bad.
It's possible. But it's also possible that Tampa Bay is going to get to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Right? The first ever home Super Bowl played by this team, the Buccaneers. Okay, so the sports books are queasy right now because the Buccaneers are at 12-1. They're down at 5th best odds to win the Super Bowl, and the money's starting to pour in on 12-1 because if
they win the first game, it's gonna be down to 5-1.
Yep. But those bets are going to stand at 12-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay. So the point is that all of a sudden the Bucs caught fire. And the reason they caught fire, to me, was, albeit against shaky, weak competition, but they're still pro football teams that they're playing against. They caught fire because Antonio Brown started to get his legs up underneath him. And I started to see a little more quickness than I saw for the first 3 or 4 games. Right. And it took a while because he joined them when they were 6-2, and it looked like they were starting to take off then. But Brady said, no, we can really take off. We're going to have to pay now to be paid back later if we can figure Antonio out on the fly over the back half of the season. What was the first night he played? It was a Sunday night, New Orleans at Tampa Bay, right? And they got shellacked. They got humiliated. They got embarrassed on national TV on Sunday night, right? And Antonio was hit and miss, and then he got a little more of the run in the offense. He got a few more targets, and all of a sudden, he hit the lottery on targets against Atlanta in the final home game because what did he throw him?
Threw him like 13 targets. He caught 11 balls.
Whew, 11 balls. And all of a sudden, he started looking like Antonio. Tom Brady loves Antonio. Yeah. Right?
But Brady always did, Skip. Where he didn't always give him 8, 9 targets. He always tried to keep him involved. He always threw him 4 or 5 targets.
He did.
He always hey, don't think we might not be clicking, but don't think I'm not trying to get you to rock.
Which is why we didn't hear a peep out of Antonio about, I need some more catches. Right. Okay. So now, I don't know if Mike Evans is going to be able to go. He tweaked his knee, and it was only a tweak. Hyperextended, went backward. But they said he's day-to-day. He's got a chance. So at least he's there and not lost for the playoffs. If they have their full complement going forward, that offense is a handful.
It is.
And it would be a handful for the Packers to stop also.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In fact, I give Washington a better chance against that offense than I would give the Packers because Washington has the antidote.
Right.
They've got the kryptonite.
Right.
Can they get pressure with 4? If they can, it's going to be a long, hard battle on Saturday night.
The Packers have gotten better. I like the Packers back end better than I like Washington.